The Lord Rick of the Paranormal Ghost Society. This is my third visit to Empire Cemetery today. Folks, I'm not going to investigate the cemetery because we've already been here twice to explore and investigate it. It goes with the ghost town. It's one of the last remaining remnants. There's also a red house. The superintendent lived there from the Mexican mill, which I'm going to take you guys to, at least to get some photos. This is an urban exploration into a ghost town, into the Carson River Valley Canyon, where we'll encounter mills, various hikes, a smelter, ore chutes. There's a lot of different things. The scenery is very abundant. There's Slide Mountain. Behind it, Mount Rose, which is the tallest mountain in the Carson Range overlooking, well, that area of the Carson Range overlooking Reno. Job's Peak is definitely a lot higher, but you get the idea. It's pretty high mountains. That'll be snow covered in another week. If you look over here, you have the beautiful Empire Cemetery. It's supposed to be about 200 burials, but most of the graves are missing. There's a historic plaque. This is the old cement factory. Obviously someone bought it and it's active. There's steam coming out of the vents and there's lights on, but this is where the start of our expedition is going to be, because we're going to end up going, and I'll see if I can climb out over here. We're going to be going off into those mountains you see way up in the distance. This is the Pine Nut Mountain Range. This is the Carson Range, and we're going to go into some narrow canyons. It is cold. It's 30 degrees out, so you know we're committed. But let's give you a little rundown before we go hike into various mills and ghost towns. Empire Cemetery. Empire City was a mill town established in 1855. As you read on the storyboard, you are facing east towards Brunswick Canyon. Brunswick Canyon's over here, I guess. But the city Empire was located to your right, about a quarter to a half mile. So basically, over the hill is Empire City, the old part of it, which we'll have to hike to the Empire Mill to just kind of give you an idea. They built their houses, their tents, the saloons, and the school, and everything was built around the mills. So, you know, I mean, the mining went hand in hand with the town. Located on the Carson River, it got its nickname Seaport, because the river was to ship timber from Alpine County through flumes. They would come down the Carson River, and then the mills, there would be businesses to remove the logs and put them on the V&T railroad line, which ran along the Carson River, which I'll take you guys to today too. The town milled lumber. Most of it was used for underground labyrinth of tunnels and the Comstock lode. The primary ore that was milled here was silver and gold-bearing quartz rock. A 7-mile portion of the river was dotted with mills and settlements, from the Mexican to the south in the Empire to the Eureka Mill, as far east as Brunswick Canyon towards Dayton. Of these mills in the Empire area, the most famous was Gregory's Mill, built in 1859. This mill produced an average of 15,000 feet of lumber a day. It was the first steam-powered mill in the western Utah Territory. In addition to that, I'm going to take you guys to an old steam, not a steam wheel, but a paddle wheel. It's 3.5 tons. It's huge along the river. These remnants of this town are important. We need to film, document them. You can also see here, Nevada achieved statehood in 1864, October 31st, which is Halloween. It was water and steam powered. The Mexican ditch, which is near here, was created to divert water from the Carson River to run the mill. The Mexican mill processed 75 tons a day and had its own wood ranch and employed 9 people. It occupied a portion of what is now the Empire Golf Course, which we'll be walking around on the backside of it. They were Mead and Morgan mills. They both were water-powered. The Mead mill, built in 1861, employed 16 men, processed 20 tons a day. The Morgan mill processed 80 tons a day, serving Some of the mills was the Virginia and Truckee Railroad, whose tracks were immediately south along the Morgan Mill Road, which again is below this hill. No one currently lives in Brunswick Canyon, which is Carson River flows through. That's not true. It's actually Carson River Canyon. Brunswick goes east. It does cross. It does cross where we're going. There was approximately 200 people buried here in the cemetery. The people here had assortment occupations, laborers and mills, shopkeepers, blacksmiths, carpenters, cooks, feeders, masons, real estate agents, and amalgamators. Those are people that specialize in using mercury to separate the gold and silver in the ore. There's also, I believe I said carpenters, but people who worked up in Virginia City, Dayton, and of course the city of Empire, which is now a ghost town. Not all people made it to adulthood. There's many children buried here, also an intern Vietnam veteran. There is a congressman buried here. I know that by heart because I did a history project. Boy Scouts of America have been active at the site. 3 Eagle Scout projects have restored the cemetery. The first was done by Matt Young. Second was done by Michael Barnes in 2003 and 2004, and both Scouts from Troop 33. The most recent Boy Scout project was in April of 2013 by J.C. Zampero of Troop 16. Rex Jennings has been an active volunteer. The pictures are acquired from the Western Nevada Historic Photo Collection, and I have copies, so we will put them on our website. The school and the other photo are missing. Cement mill. Come on over here. Show you guys where we're going from up above. It's one of the most beautiful cemeteries. It overlooks all of Carson City below. Look real closely. There's Sea Hill and Kings Canyon. Slide Mountain. Both of those we've been up on. Oh yeah. Look right here above that hill. And not the hill, but behind the mountain. We climbed the rim and over those mountains. That's where the Hobart Reservoir is. That's where we seen that creature. But you come on over here. This area has stories of legends of gold, and I mean, it is the Wild West. Where we're going, there's no houses or buildings. There are wild horses, there's mountain lions, there's a couple hundred graves. But we're going to be going all in this lush valley you see up ahead. I will show you all the great places we're going to be going. It's very remote. You have to keep in mind that we're surrounded by mountains. But you can see there you have it. That, my friends, is the Carson River. And it splits off, it forks. It goes through this valley, which we're going to go towards the end of the day. The other road we're going to take starts along the mountains. And it's see the road, and it goes all the way back. And in between that mountain range, there's a bunch of mills, and they're at river forks, so the river goes between the mountains, and we're going to follow it. And there's mills all along it. So once we head on that dirt road, we're going off into the pine nuts, which is a single-leaf pinyon and juniper forest. There are deer, there are black bear, and there are mountain lions. And there's a lot of mills and historical sites and remnants of the past. Things left behind by the mining days, but you get the idea. This is the cemetery. No investigation today. The cemetery is just to kind of go with this ghost town project. Empire starts here, but we're about to go 7 miles deep into the ghost town, and it's all off-roading. It's an old mining road, and where they ripped some of the railroad tracks up, you can drive down the grades. A lot of wrought iron, a lot of engraved stones. It's a beautiful place. There's the Virginia Range. Virginia City is just over those mountains. It's very cold. Easily get frostbite today. I mean, I can't even feel my hands. There's an old historic house. It's one of the last houses remaining. And it's all the way over here. And we'll try to go visit it. It's called the Red House. Can't really see it, but that's the Empire Golf Course. And the cemetery overlooks it. Where the golf course was, that was part of the town. But the river goes all behind the golf course and also splits up here between the mountains. And that's where all your first mills were. Because they had, what they did is they had put the mills in. All the ore was being shipped to San Francisco for processing. And they were like, hey, wait a minute. Virginia City's just up between the mountains. And if we built the railroad line all the way behind the mountains, we could load the wood from the Carson River, from the Sierras right here. And we could also process, the train could bring the ore from the Comstock lode and process the gold and silver. So you see, this was, I mean, there's a lot to see back here. I mean, not a lot left. I mean, a lot of these mills are standing. There were 5, 6 buildings, and now there's just sheet metal and TNT canisters, and things like that. Old railroad lanterns, just a paddle wheel and a smelter and things, and stamps and ore chutes, but your typical stuff you find in a ghost town. Anyways, beautiful cemetery. I'm out of here. I'll take a few photos for the website, but I already have photos from our previous visits. I don't really need too many pictures. This is Lord Rick of the Paranormal and Ghost Society. And I want to thank everybody who's viewing. Bright and early in Empire City, a ghost town that once was. Actually a boom town that once was. Had up to 700 people, and now this is all below. Here's New Empire, but look, it's all businesses below. A few houses here and there. Very few historical remnants unless you go into the Carson River Canyon, which I'm going to do. And we're going to bring it to you full force today. It's going to be cold, and there's going to be a lot of hiking, but we're going to go to all kinds of ruins and mill foundations. We're going to show you what Empire is really about, because at the same time Empire was developing, it almost took the county seat, and it almost took away Carson City from being the capital. This almost became the capital. It was pretty close. I mean, this is a pretty good sized town up in here, and it was booming. And with the milling industry and the lumbering industry, you had the Carson River right there. Anyways, this is Lord Rick. Check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. If you want to see more than just videos, we have every type of content you can think of. And you're really going to enjoy this. So check it out. Peace.